Welcome to my Conquest monthly update. In this session, I'm going to review R1 Release Notes 1 for January 2025. As you can see, I'm in my sample client scenario for John and Jane. And as a reminder, in the upper left corner, we can go into the hamburger icon and we can visit support and resources and go into the knowledge base. Inside the knowledge base, we can review what's new and see release 1 for 2025. Here are the table of contents I'll review with you. Starting from the top, we've got a new feature for Advisor Portal. In the Advisor Portal, we have the ability to add a few additional details. Right off the bat, you will notice if you go into your settings for the company settings, we can add a second logo, as you can see there. We also have the ability to add a custom report and include your team members on that custom report and show how you work together in a team approach, or if there's a specialist on your team, we can add them in with additional details of their biography or their role or anything else. So some nice things. Let's head over to Conquest and we'll take a closer look at what that looks like. Upper left corner, we go back into the hamburger icon. We can exit the client list and visit our advisor settings up here. Here's where you've entered your advisor details. Down below, you'll see my logo, and here's the spot where you would enter company logo 2. Okay. So right off the bat, we could add additional information in there if that's applicable to you and your firm. And then to show you on the client resources, prepare report, we can add a custom section. As you can see, it's called Untitled. So now I'll go in and edit it. And in here, we'll see text and images, and we can include an image from the image library that's populated inside there for you based on your firm's settings and what they've approved. We also have a spot for your images, and in the Smart section, this is where you would see your teammates, where you can include them on a custom PDF report or any additional logos that you wanted to add. So just being mindful of that. Also up here, insert smart text. You want to be aware of it's not so intuitive to see where it's located, but in there, once we click on it, we have the smart text capability. We can go to advisor team, and we can include, the current advisor or any other details. I'm just going to show you for me because I don't work in a team capacity. I can add my credentials, and then I can do things like my role. So as you can see, as it populates, this is the smart text. It will pull in your teammates' information and what they've set in their advisor settings component. And when you update your plans or generate a new client PDF report, it will always stay up to date for you. And that's one of the benefits of the smart text. So I will delete that for now, but that's where you go. Should you want to enhance your firm settings and have some additional questions for me, reach out and we can take a closer look and really customize your client PDF reports for your firm. Let's head back to the release notes and I'll move on to the next section. I've covered all those details there. Feature enhancements. So they've added an enhanced dashboard for the client portal. And what that means is there's some additional optimization for mobile devices, and some key features of the new dashboard include goal progress panel, cash flow summary, net worth summary, visualizations panel, and a summary of information. If I slide down here, we can see a screen snapshot of what that means. Under goal progress, we can see the client's goals listed with their progress, with the percentages in the center. We've got a nice cash flow widget here of a summary of where their money is going towards, debt, taxes, savings, etc. We've got a nice net worth summary, assets minus liabilities, a visualization of their cash inflows over time. So we can see pre-retirement, we've got some employment income here leading up to retirement. It looks like right there is a retirement point in time. And then throughout retirement, we can see all the multiple streams of income forming their retirement paycheck until life expectancy. Down below, we have a summary of information on the household, the client and co-client information, dependents, and account information for each of them. So some really nice enhancements. It looks great. Unfortunately, I cannot demonstrate this and what it looks like in real time, as the Canada Life version of Conquest that I'm using does not include the client portal, unfortunately. So stand by. Hopefully that'll come in the near future, but that's to be determined. We don't have an estimated time frame on that at the moment. Moving on to SAM Insights updates. Okay, so SAM Insights is being updated and enhanced and tweaked and adjusted. It is something, to be honest, I'm still playing around with, still trying to figure out and optimize for my Conquest workflows. If I head back over to Conquest, and we can take a closer look at that. As a reminder, right here with the light bulb is SAM Insights. And when we click it, we can move it aside or click it to move it over. It covers a few topics here. We can see top priority, items needing attention, additional information, and dismissed. If you just work through sequentially right from the top, it's just pointing out some data concerns. As you can see, I can choose to say update the data or not now, and then it moves to the next one, will populate up above any other data concerns. There's another one, the cost basis on the account was flagged. I have a non-registered account in here. I have the current market value, but no cost basis, no book value. So it's just flagging that, saying, hey, there's a concern here. We should double check that information and ensure that everything's entered appropriately. I can choose to dismiss it temporarily or forever. And when I do, it will just move down to the dismiss section. We can see here I have a couple dismissals. It doesn't go away completely, but it is there if you wanted to revisit that in the future. So that is a reminder of SAM Insights. Within these enhancements for this month, they've made some adjustments as far as the skip button, for example, was replaced with a not now or no. So if I head back to Conquest and I go into items needing attention with regards to focus on retirement, you can see not now or take me there. There's a few items in focusing on retirement. So these are some suggested strategies that we can review to get our client closer to their goals, and we can choose not now. I have noticed in my usage of this feature with SAM Insights, notice I said not now to that item. If I go into strategies, it does show under your applied strategies or strategies, but it's not applied, meaning there's no check mark in the box to enable that strategy. But I have noticed that it floats over here, and you could revisit it at another time. So that's a bit of the workflow with regards to SAM Insights and what's happening there. Heading back to my release notes, just want to stay on track here and say what's next. It says, when suggestions are dismissed within an opportunity insight, which is with that little star, they are placed at the end of the suggestion carousel where they can be selected again. Exactly. So as we move through these starred sections, as you can see, and as a reminder, the star sections you can see down below, these are opportunities. And it's a nice little legend here. We can see some questions, we can see some information insights, and then dismissed. Okay, so as you work through the plan, you can, in essence, you can solve for the client's goals just staying on the screen and moving your way through SAM Insights. So I can say not now, then I can move to the next one as I go through. And if I were to dismiss this, we can choose temporarily dismiss or permanently dismiss. I'm going to choose temporarily dismissal. And so we can see it moves to the end of the carousel, as it says, and it will be down here. Okay, so it just gets bumped down to the lowest priority in the workflow. But just so you know, you could add it in and have it reprioritize back up into another high priority strategy that you might want to revisit at a later point in time. So that's what that's about. Moving on, change your mind insight. So let's take a look at that. I don't have any change your mind, but as I go through and say not now to these, we'll see if it works on this time. It's a bit slow, my system, so I'm just going to go not now, and hopefully we'll see at some point in time change your mind. So I have a few to get through here. Bear with me. I'm going to go through all of these. So maybe all of these items we want to say not now, not now, not now. And I think I have one more. What it does is it creates an itemized checklist almost. Oh, there it is. Oh, it bumped me up back into top priority. So I was a little trigger happy there. But if I go here, where is it? Change your mind. There it is. So change my mind. So I can go back in and see, I clicked on a few things and there's 20 items in here. And so I can revisit it or dismiss it altogether. So if I choose to revisit it, it'll pre-populate it back up into higher ranked and highlight it for you. Okay. So that's kind of the workflow. To be honest, I'm still getting used to SAM Insights. I do find it a bit of a disruption in my workflow. Been using the software for 4 years now, so I've developed my habits, and I find this a little bit slowing me down, I guess is the best way as I can put it. If you're still relatively new and you're learning for Conquest, I think this could be a nice feature you can lean on. It can help provide you or with additional insight or point you in the right direction as to what's next and what you can work on. But that's what I'm here for. I can help you with any of that. Let's move on to the next component, data concerns. Okay, so I like this feature actually because as I enter information on my client's data in each of these cards, you'll notice top priority or the data concerns. Oh, they've gone away. I've just, let's see, dismissed. There's my data concern there. So that little caution symbol. Okay, so let's restore it. It gets moved back to the top. So it's just flagging an item that I might have missed entering the data in my client's plan. And so it did flag a cost basis. If I go down to my accounts card, notice that little yellow triangle that appeared on the card. And there it is. It's highlighting the non-reg account. I have a market value, but no cost basis. So it's just saying, hey, take a look at this. You might want to complete this information. That becomes more important as you add zeros on the market value because it'd be fully taxable if any redemptions are made from this account. Software calculates the disposition for tax purposes on the investment account, right? So something to be aware of with regards to that. So I kind of like the data concern components. Also, if you miss the planning preferences, remember, planning preferences can be your friend. If you go to planning preferences, it can really help guide the AI engine and the software to rank and prioritize the most applicable strategies, best suited strategies available for your client to implement and recommend. Okay, so as you leverage this component by moving these red balls to not or very willing and enter a dollar amount, this is going to only enhance SAM's capabilities, the AI engine, to help rank and prioritize what would be best for your client to recommend or strategy to suggest to better their situation and move them closer to their goals at 100% or more. Okay. Let's move on. I've covered all of those. Multiple salaries for one employer check. Yeah, there is a card in there. It becomes really important when someone has multiple employers. Okay, so in the family card, under each individual, you can go into more data, and there's the employment section. So if someone has multiple employers, you want to list them here, and it just allows for contributions to things like group RSPs, pension plans, registered pension plans. It just allows the software to direct any of those savings to the appropriate employer. And for tax purposes on that employment income, it would be best suggested that you include that information. So that's regarding, as well as marital status in a joint plan. I've noticed sometimes when I've launched a plan with an individual and added the co-client or spouse, it will show from the first person, marital status will show as single, and the second person will pull in and show married. So sometimes there's a discrepancy there that you want to be aware of and just adjust accordingly. And then finally, when you add the co-client, or if you haven't added it on the client section, just be aware of sex at birth for each of your clients, that if that is missed, then that could cause an issue with regards to the risk management section when you're doing the insurance needs analysis calculation and a recommended insurance component or amount. You want to ensure that sex at birth is correct. Okay. Let's move on to contribution room insights. Yeah, again, there's another item that SAM Insights could help provide some additional insight on, or say, hey, take a look at this section. If we go to starting tax values, you'll notice the default is to estimate the RSP and TFSA contribution room. Okay, so that's what the data issue might be concerned about, or the software concerned about, is we want to update that. Remember, the software only knows from the year you create the plan moving forward. It doesn't pick up the client's history of their contribution room. So a best practice is, if you have your client's notice of assessment, you want to capture that information, update it in your plan. That way you can develop a strategy to catch up on their RSP room. It won't flag an RSP over contribution if that's the case. So just something else to keep an eye on. So I like that thing there. Moving on to mortgage renewal rate. This is really nice. One of my favorite features of the software is the tracking of liabilities. So if we go into my plan, and you can see I've got a mortgage here. The thing that I like about the liability tracking is we can reference a single liability report. And we can pinpoint, based on the interest rate entered, the payment amount and frequency, when this mortgage would be paid off into the future. It's great. Sometimes I've observed plans where the client is not mortgage free by the time they retire. So how do they feel about that? Do we want to develop a strategy to accelerate those payments, pay it down before they retire? So the enhancement in this latest update is here with regards to adding a renewal interest rate as well as a maturity date. So let's say on January 20th, 2026, this is when the mortgage will renew. Comes to the end of their, let's say, 5-year term, and we can add a renewal interest rate. Just to show you on the information, I made the current rate at 4.99. It's got an 18-year amortization remaining. Payment amount and frequency listed below. On the renewal details, I can say, well, what if interest rates are a little bit lower? Because interest rates have been coming down a little bit lately. We can figure out, what would the payment be like? We've got a 17-year amortization. Let's assume it's a year from now. Next January is almost a year, okay? And I can specify the bi-weekly payment. So it's pointing towards a lower payment. That makes perfect sense, right? When we go back to the original information, 4.99, 18 years, 750 biweekly, it's a lower interest rate at 4%. So look, it's calculating the payment amount to be $672. Really nice feature. I like it because if we didn't have this feature, we're going to project our mortgage liability at the prevailing interest rate that we entered in at the time we created the plan for the life of the plan. So with this renewal detail, it's not ideal. It won't go till their life expectancy, right? Or it won't go for the next 20 years, but we can renew every 5 years and just update the plan accordingly. And I just think it provides some really nice insight to share it with your client around renewals of mortgages. Typically, that's one of the biggest investments your clients will make, right? Purchasing a home, purchasing a secondary home. We want to capture that information and do a great job on their planning from a debt management perspective. We can layer in debt consolidation loans or anything else. Really nice features there. Let's finish up here with assumption changes. We've got the 2025 update for Canadian federal as well as provincial tax rates. They are automatically updated on your behalf. There's nothing you have to do. So as you can see listed here are the federal indexing rates, or the federal rates have been indexed and adjusted accordingly. And we've got the new tax rates given the different tiers of income. With that comes some adjustments, enhancements, or changes to CPP, employment insurance, RSP, defined benefit, TFSA contribution limits, child benefit amounts, and you can see some of the other items there. So that's great. And provincially, it's got most of the provinces listed here: Alberta, BC, Manitoba, New Brunswick, Newfoundland, Labrador, Northwest Territories. There's Nova Scotia, Nunavut, Ontario, PEI, Quebec, Saskatchewan, Yukon. Okay, so if a province is not listed here, it could mean either the 2025 values were not yet available or no changes are required for 2024. So that covers R1 2025. Hope you found this session useful. Should you have any additional questions, please feel free to reach out to me and have a great day. Bye.